All right. I'm going straight into the stream. No timer at the beginning. Give me a second. Making sure I have everything set up. I probably should have put the timer, but it's all good. All good. It's all good. I didn't enable my little Pokemon characters in here at all. So let me enable that real quick. Yeah, anyways guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome to another video here today. I know it's a kind of random stream here today that I'm doing, so I was working on it this morning. I was like, you know what, I might as well just stream this. I was about to start on it, and then you know what, let's just stream this. Since it's Sunday, nothing crazy going on at the moment. Hold on, I'm still trying to get my stream avatars enabled right now. But yeah, welcome to the stream, or if you're watching this in the future, welcome to another video here today. We're going to continue working on the avatar creation, and in the last stream we were focusing on getting it so that it remembers and saves the information that you set up when you started setting up your character, right? The colors and all of that. And I would like to be able to use that now and be able to set the character to that. So that is the plan. Let me connect this, and it should be active soon. Oh, it didn't even ask me what stream I'm on. Alright, well, hopefully it's correct. I think I got everything else in store. All right. Well, let's get started, shall we? So in the last, yesterday I should say, since that's when I streamed, we worked on setting up what we said earlier, and this is the class that we did it on the base character. I may most likely I'll end up moving it somewhere else, but right now I just want to get that thing to work. That is the plan. All right, so I don't think I have to delete anything else here. Let me get my chat up in case somebody comes in and says hi or something. Let me hydrate real quick. All right, let's get started. So what I would like to do in here, so now that we have our data in here, so if we were to run it real quick. We got that log, which I gotta remove because I don't want that log in there. We'll find out what it is later on. And then it spits out this bad boy down here, right? So I want to be able to use these values and set up my sprite sheet just the way like I am doing here. I think that's what I would like to be able to do. So we can start that by doing that. And also I apologize for yesterday's stream. If you guys ever caught it, I ended up putting it at the wrong one. It said I was streaming Oblivion. But I wasn't. So I went the entire stream with the title saying that I was playing Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, and I was not. So if you got that notification, you saw that and you were like, what the hell? And that's probably the reason why, so I apologize for that. I did not realize I chose the wrong one when I started the live stream on my OBS. But yeah, it is what it is. I actually don't, I kind of do want the material. But, so we're iterating through all the children in here, right? One, I want to make sure can you actually say if sprite is right to these. Does that work? I guess I want to iterate through all the sprites rather than, because I don't want to iterate through hand items. We'll see if we end up going in there. I think since I have the avatar, I have arms, I have eyes, and all of that. That what I can do is I can probably use the name of the sprite. The problem when it comes around is, right, and what happens if I change names? I'm gonna have to change names in here, and the same thing will happen with the avatar creation as well in here. Like, what if I rearrange the parts to a different area, so these indexes won't work anymore, and that creates a problem. It works for right now, but if I ever in the future end up, let's say, hey, I want the hair to be above the head, right, in the order, the indexes in the avatar creator will be wrong, and I'm gonna have to take account for that. I just have to remember, if I ever do that, I have to take account for that. Alright. So what we can do in here... What happens if I rename these? I don't think it should be a problem. So I put bottom, but that should be pants. I should put capital. So they all correlate together. And also body, I'm probably never gonna have. Got shoes. In the logs, does it say shoes or does it say shoe as a singular? Shoes plural. Cool. We got arms. We got top, and that ends up being shirt. So let's rename these. We got head, hair, eyes, and this one has an underscore in between facial hair. So we'll make sure we name it that way. So what I can do is just say, hey, if avatar data as, I just say sprite name, and can you do the lowercase? To lower, there we go. So if it has it, then we find it. So let's for now, let's just print it out. Let's just print it out and say that this is what we want to show. Actually, since we're doing this and it has a sprite name, I don't think we even need to check to see if it's a sprite. It should be fine, as long as we know that it's in here. And let's disable this. Oops. That should be a hashtag the GD script for comments. All right. So let's just double check that that's gonna work. I hope by renaming it also worked. Didn't mess up anything. Oh, cool. So there we go. We got all the parts in here and everything in here, and nothing messed up with that by renaming the sprites. And actually, you know, we can get the stuff in here now. Cool. So now that we have that, we can, you know, just delete this, and then we can use use it in here. So we have a dictionary equals the avatar data with the sprite name lower. Now that we know that's in there, and now we have the color, which is exactly what I want to do. We get a sprite material, and if I remember correctly, we can do something like that. The thing here, can we actually hold on? So you say this is a color, right? Can I just say color and then be able to convert it that way? I don't know if I can. That's gonna be a problemo. I don't know if I can do that. We'll find out. But the plan is to do that, right? Change it to color, and I believe this is just color. So we'll put a breakpoint in here and see if it actually, I mean, it's gonna crash if it can't do it and convert it. You can see part maybe as color, maybe that will work too. We'll find out. I don't feel like it's not gonna work, but we'll find out right now. Let's find out. Alright, let's find out if it works. Alright, no crash? Yes, we have the color. And double check that. We got 1.4.8. Let's go. So if anything, this ended up working, I guess. Oh, there we go. Look at this guy. Look at this green guy. And the color of the eyes too. This is awesome, dude. Got you seeing better here. That is really cool. I'm enjoying that right now. Cool. I ended up working better than expected. Alright, so let's delete all of this stuff because I don't need it. I don't need any of that stuff. There's one thing I would like to do on DaVinci if I want to do it right now, or if I want to do it later. DaVinci if I want to do it now or later. Okay, so what I wanted to do, I already imported this. What I imported was a JSON serializer, which I found in a gist in GitHub. I can actually show you guys right now. Where is that bad boy at? Where did I put it? Oh, there we go. It's this thing here. So there's something that I used to do back when I was working in industry, where we were working in C#, and we were serialized JSONs from like JSON strings to classes, and that would make it a lot easier than doing this, just because sometimes when you do this, and this might be cause a crash because it doesn't have it. And you've seen me on stream actually made that has happened, alright, where that variable is not there. So you would do a serializer where you would convert the JSON string to a class, and I found this cool JSON class converter, which I have not tested though. So we will have to check it out to see if it ends up working. So feel free to check it out. The link is on top if you guys want to try and see if you're able to make it work. From Phoenix Sub, I don't know if this might not end up working in the end. Where is this? How did I open it? Because I was copying it. Oh, there it is. So I'm gonna copy it over here, right? And you know, this is what development is, and just trying to see if it's gonna make it work. So you know, might as well let's give it a try. Give that a try. Okay. So my plan here is to create a class called Avatar that's gonna have all the variables that are inside of the output, right? It's not there anymore, but all that string that I had in here, I would like to convert that into a class instead, so we can I'm trying to give it a good name. Let's put it in a folder, so making sure everything that classes are that are serialized are in here. Hold on, let me fix this a little bit because this is getting in the way. There we go. What can be a good name? I want to call it like serialization stuff. It could also be deserialization. One of those things. I'm just gonna name it like that for now. I can rename it later. And let's put one here called Avatar. Great. Let's go in it, shall we? We got this avatar. Let's make sure we have a name for it. Call it Avatar. I'm not gonna extend a node because it's not an actual node, so we'll just leave it as an object. And in here, we're gonna have all the variables in here for all the parts. Where can I find all that stuff at? Almost avatar creator, right? So all of this stuff is gonna be into a class, and looks like I'm gonna have to have a second class for all the parts in it. Question is, I'm still kind of new to GD script. I'm wondering if, hold on, can you just call it class in here and say avatar part? And in here we'll have bar type, which is basically just either the location or the path to this part, either to the texture or the UID. And then we have color, which is just the color of it, right? And then down below here, we can just start naming all of that stuff. So what was the see, and those creator, there we go. Let's go through all of these and we have a name in there, right? So we got the name is, it's head and arms. So we say head, we call it avatar part, and just say avatar part. You can do that. Does that work? That'd be great. Then we have arms, and we can do the same thing. There we go. Avatar and arms. We got eyes, hair, and shirt. Got eyes. Was it hair? I think that's a shirt. Eyes, hair, and shirt. And we have pants, shoes. I think I forgot one, didn't I? Oh. Yeah, so it's pants and shoes. Pants, shoes, and we have the facial hair one. Cool. And then in my, let's save that. Let's go to base character now and use this class. So let's figure it out. So right now we can call it avatar. Let's say avatar, and we can call the JSON serializer that converts this dictionary to a string, to a JSON string, and then we'll convert it to a class. So we have that. Oops. JSON to class, which passes in the dictionary that we want to pass in. And then the object, which ends up being the avatar. There we go. So let's check it out and see if this ends up being something that ended up working. I keep putting parentheses. Avatar. I just pass for now. We'll see what happens in here. I have a 90% chance that this is not going to work, just because I gotta figure out what's going on in there. Gotta figure it out. Hold on, let me there we go. It's loading to the game. Oops, wrong one. That's definitely not gonna work. Yep. Like I said before, this is gonna crash because this one doesn't have an avatar for a player at all. And this is why I'm saying what I'm talking about. It crashes sometimes when you say it's player. But if you were to serialize it to a class, that wouldn't be a problem in here. But anyway, let's restart it. I chose the wrong save file. Wrong save file. Alright, let's go to test. And I mean, there's a value in it. That stuff in here is black. I believe I had color, at least in my eyes. Yeah, so I didn't serialize it correctly. Let's debug it, shall we? Let's go into the serializer, since I'm only calling it once. It should be at the moment the same time when I pass in my avatar parts into it. Dictionary. Loading to game. Let's figure it out. I may need to rewrite it, make this work, because there's stuff in here that I have no idea what it's for. Like property types. Alright, so we have from the class, it gets all the property lists. Right, so this is all the stuff that's in it, the class names and all of that. So we have avatar script here, blah blah blah. Okay, we have a name for head, last name at 24, until 0, and then usage of 4096. Then we have arms, which is the same thing, 24. And it's 4096. Another one, I guess they're all 24s then, right? 24s and 4096 of usage. Yeah. And if I take a look into this, it's finding the same keys. So I'm assuming the JSON keys is from this. So this will have all the lists for all the JSON keys, right? And currently it's in arms. So basically it's trying to find the property that has a name, arms in it. So it finds it, but also doing a property usage of that is greater than the bitwise, bit shift of 1, and bit shifting it to the left by 13. No idea how much that is. We'll find out right now in a second. And then inside of that, they're both doing the same thing. And then it has a class name for that property. And doing this, I have no idea what this is. But then in doing a type of 17, which minus 24 on all of them. So it's basically ignoring all of this stuff in here. Which is why it's never setting anything. But let's look into this. What is a bit shift of that? You can find a calculator online actually for that. Let's find a calculator real quick. Let's open this up. Let's search for a bitwise calculator. Alright. So by doing so, we find this. Okay, we can use this one here. Let's put that in here so you guys can see as well. So if we do bitwise, let's do a 1 and bit shifting it 13 to the left, It's 8192. Okay. 8192, and if I go in here, what was the usage? They were all 4096, right? Ah, come on, don't go out. Usage 4096, 4096, and this is saying if it's greater. Well, 4096 isn't. 4096 that's in the properties will never be greater than 8090. What was it? 8192. So it's also ignoring all of that stuff in here for sure. So it's not even going inside of here at all for any of these. In stream. Yeah, it doesn't even matter because the usage is still. So this is not going to work out for me. So what I can do, I can probably just say ignore that. What happens if I say if I bishoped it by 12? Okay, so now we have that. So maybe in my case it will be 12 instead. So I'm gonna end up removing all of this stuff because I have no idea what all of this other stuff is doing. So let's bishop it by 12 instead, and that makes it 4096 instead of 8192, right? And then it's doing this, which is a property of type 17 or minus 24. What is 17? You know, one thing you can go into as well, which is cool, is you can go into in the documentation of Godot, and you can go to global scopes. They usually have global scopes on all of these. I have that bookmarked. I think it's probably the same thing that they were doing in here. So let's go in here real quick. So this is the global scopes for all of this stuff. And what we want to find is either something similar to like usage or type, wherever that may be. No, I just look for usage instead. Let's see. Property usage flags. Oh, we also have property hints in here, but I'm not. I think my hints are different though, right? Like all of this stuff. Did they have anything hints in here? They all say 0 on my end. Yeah, they all have zeros on it. What does 0 mean as a hint? Oh, just has no hint. Oh, hint for the editor, I see. Okay. And then we have type 17. What is, would they have a property type then? Alright, we got usage flags in here actually. Got 4096, there we go. So they're doing property usage script variables, so this script variables will be 4096. What was the other one? 8192. Property usage store if null. The property value of object will be stored even if its value is null. Huh? So right now I said everything that is greater or equal to 4096. So any usage flags that are greater than that will be set in here. There shouldn't be a problem. We got method flags. And then we have variant types. I think that's probably what we're using as well for property types. Most likely ends up being the same thing. Mine was, what was mine? 24, right? A type object, yes, because that's what we inherited from. And that's what, well, so when we created the avatar class, we inherited from object, which is why it's 24. But in their case, they want 17, right? Yeah, they want 17. What is 17 then? The property type. A basis. Interesting. Why would they want a basis in there? If I recall correctly, that's probably a matrix in here. Yeah, it's a 3x3 matrix. Interesting. Okay. Alright, well, I may end up replacing some of this. So I'm gonna leave this here. I changed it to 12. I don't need any of this stuff in here. But hey, actually, you know, parentheses work. Ooh, I did not know that. Well, good to know. But now that I don't want to keep everything else different, so I'll just leave it as no parentheses. Mine was 24 though. 24 being a script variable, right? Not script, but an object, I mean. You know, let's put a hashtag comment here and just say object. So if it's an object, we'll want to serialize it back to how through here and initialize it that way. So we do kind of like a recursive call in here to set those variables. If there are objects, if you're already inside the class, then we just set the variables. That kind of makes sense. Alright, let's figure this out. Let's see. Let's stop it. And let's go into my base character. We'll go through there. Let's load the game. Let's load that save file in here. And let's go through this avatar. So that's before it has some stuff in it. We'll go in here. You go to the head. Ooh, it has a color now. Oh, I think it was green, right? Yeah, I remember my guy being green. That's sweet. Let's go into the arms. I believe arms didn't have any color. Do I still have the output? I do not have the output. Probably should print out the output. The eyes were blue. I remember being blue. Hair, maybe it was green. No, it's brown. I mean black. I mean, so I have no color in hair. Sure, it might have been blue or green. Hands, I don't remember what color. Okay, it's purple-ish violet color. And I had on his shoes. It's also like purplish color as well. Alright, well. And facial hair, this guy doesn't have any facial hair at the moment, so there's no color in it. So let's print it out again. And double check that we have that correctly, shall we? Let's print it out in here. Print it out one more time. And we'll do avatar data. Wonder if it's already spit out if I did it here. Just double check. Load the game, load that save file. Let's go to the output. We got arms. Yeah, see, there's no color in arms. They got eyes, which ends up being blue. We can actually go through it right now. Let's go in here. Let's go to avatar. Let's go back in here. So, like we said, there's nothing in arms, which is fine. Eyes, I believe it was blue is pretty high. So, like we said, blue is definitely going to be bluish. And then we have facial hair, which is default, which has no hair, which we checked. color hair, yeah, that's why it's black, because it doesn't have any color. We got head, which ends up being, ooh. Yeah, okay, whatever, go. Green. Yeah, because the D value is pretty high, so it should be around greenish. Hands, we got one on red. And blue are pretty high value, so it's definitely gonna be like purplish, like we saw earlier, right? For the pants, purplish. Then we got a shirt, which is green. And I'm pretty sure we saw it green. That's right. We got shoes, which ends up being one on red and one on blue, which ends up being also purplish, violet color on the shoes. Sweet. Cool. Looks like it ended up working. So I might end up not, even though I ended up not using a majority of the stuff inside the JSON to class, I ended up adding my stuff that ended up working for me. I think most likely is going to keep it this way, and as I keep making more games in the future and I end up using this same class, I'm most likely going to be adding more stuff here in the future as I'm understanding how this stuff works. We dived in a little bit deeper to like almost like, I don't know if I would say low level. It's not really that low level. So the same thing here. I'll probably be doing the same thing, but so it'll be a class to a JSON. Let me see. Got properties of names. Same thing we were doing before. Alright. If not, and if name is not empty, and property usage is 12, so let's tweak one of these because we're using properties. We're not using this one anymore. Ignore that. Let's make it work with what I have. So if name is not empty, the properties. So I actually can need the name to pass it into my variables, right? And then we want 24 in here. And as we said before, is an object. And then we'll set it accordingly. Make sure we're good to go. And maybe get the property and pass them in sweets. Cool. Alright, so now we would like to use this instead of what we did before. Problem with this now is instead of doing this, which actually was also pretty cool to do, I'll have to compare it and see if it equals arms and do all that conversion. Or I could do the same thing that we were doing in Avatar Creator, where we have this index of arrays, and the index of this will determine the index of what's in here. Am I able to access these avatar parts? I wonder if we can create like a helper class for it, so they're not like in two different classes. Is it possible to create avatar? All right, I may have to do avatar creator avatar parts, part names. There we go. All right, so in here we would like to go trying to figure out how I want to tackle. I still have to do this if statement here. Can I iterate through this? Get another class. Yeah, why don't we create a class then? I'll probably make it a little bit nicer. Create a class where we can pass in the avatar part, I guess we can call it. Or we have a function which is going to be the avatar part, right? I'll actually say bar. Wait, do we have bars here? No, we don't. Avatar part. Oh, avatar part here. Ooh. How do we pass in avatar stuff here? There's a class inside that I want to use. Okay, so if I do avatar dot, oops, gives me these, which is avatar dot arms. How do I access that class so that I can use it? Or can I just pass in an object? I can just close this now. We can close this now. I'm doing a quick Google search about our Godot class. Do I did this Google search here. What's the difference between class and class name? Class name's keyword, class, you're using, or might look familiar by paper or canisters does not do the same thing. It is to define an inner class, which is great, which is what I was talking about. See, he can do a vehicle dot tire, but I can't do that. Why can I not do that? So he's able to do that here. Vehicle, which is the name of the class top, and tire, which is in my case is an avatar and avatar part. I should be able to do that in here. Maybe in some instances it's not great. We'll see if it works. Hold on. We'll want the part name. Which is just a string. We'll leave it like that for now. Hold on, let's do a pass real quick. Okay, so it did work. Alright. So what I want to do here is in here, I want to get the actual sprite, which is the sprite 2D. And I want to get the child. And we'll get the index of the avatar creator, avatar part names. We'll pass in the part name here because this will give me the index of the one that I want. And then, oh, is that string? Oh, maybe I wanted the other way? Oh wait, isn't this avatar part names a string? There is an array of string that should return Okay. No, this returns a string. Shouldn't it return an index? Or were we doing this before? Hold on, let's look into it. Oh no, you were passing an index, which then with that index, I'm tripping right now. This was not. Wait, we could. Can you get it by name? I wonder if you can get a part by name, rather than get child. Let's see. Question: Get child. No, you can't. Okay. I had something going on here and it didn't work out. I had something going. Another thing I could do. So many stuff that we gotta do for that. Let's go back here. So I can do another one the other way around, which is an array of. Are we using this at all? Maybe we were using it at one point. Yeah, we're not using this at all. I'm wondering maybe I can use this, get the child. Yeah, let's try that. Hold on. Maybe I want it backwards instead. We'll pass in the index, your part index instead. Hold on, let me see if this ends up working before I go crazy right now. We'll do that, and in here, what I want to do is say, hey, oops, I did not mean to save. We can, or whatever I did, is to pass in the avatar. Let's say we, oops, I meant to say arms. Let's say we did arms, and in here we do avatar creator and avatar parts, and we do arms. So this should give me the index of what I want. Right, because it's an enum. So I'm assuming we might be doing it that way. So we'll be doing it for all the parts that's in there. Do we get the sprite? So now that I have the sprite, I don't need to do a dictionary or color. We just gotta do this here. Making sure that. Oh, just double checking because it didn't give me any color sense for that. And that's what I was thinking of doing it. We have to call this multiple times though. For arms, we'll have to do it for all the other stuff that we have here. Right? We got eyes. We need to say eyes here. Alright. I don't know if I copied it already, but the arms, eyes, facial hair. I don't know if there's any. We'll do head, hair, hair. Head and oops, got pants. That's in the pants. Why is this wrong? Oh, you know what? I don't think it's called pants. It's called bottom in here. I gotta rename that. Oh, I already copied it. So after pants, we got shirt, and we got shoes. I think shirt we called it top in here. Was it lowercase? There we go. And then we have the last one, I think. Don't think I did shoes yet. And there's basically what I need to do in here. I don't need this anymore. We set all the avatar parts that way instead. And there's always going to be an avatar because we're creating new anyway. And then we set it that way. Let's save it all. Let's see if it ends up working. Let's restart this. Alright, let's load into the game. Going here. Whoa. Okay. So we got some stuff going on in here. Looks like the arms ended up working correctly. Oh, actually, you know what? I think the indexes are wrong. Yeah. I think that's what's happening. Oh, let's go in here and let's look at the index on all of these here. Let me put my shadow up. I don't know why it always goes behind. Alright, let's go into the game. Let's double check all these indexes in here. I'm assuming that all of this stuff is... Let's see. Go to eyes. 6. Which sounds about right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's supposed to be 7. Okay. That's why it's all messed up. Okay, let's go to avatar parts then. And let's make sure that all the same. We don't need body, and I think that's the problem that I have in here. So what I can do is just call body in here for now. Because we're not using the body anymore since all the parts of the character are separated now. So we're technically not ever using the body. But it is in there. I think that's probably the reason why it didn't work, but I could be wrong. So we got pants, and in this case this ends up being bottom. You know what, I might as well just replace it now. We got pants. Pants, we got shoes, we got arms, we got shirt. Top ends up being the shirts. Got the head, we got the hair, we got the eyes, and we got the face shirt. Okay, so the problem was this body part, since I didn't include it. And let's go back into avatar and fix, well, not avatar, base character. Let's fix the ones that we need to fix in here. So the pants ends up being bottom, and we end up putting shirt here. Let's save all. Come on, take a count. Do it. Do it. There now. Alright. I think it's just tripping right now. All it since. Let's go to test. There we go. There we go, guys. There we go. Now it's back to how it was. My little green dude over here. Sweet. Oh man. There's still some minor things I need to do, but until I actually have them and I'm actually am using it in the future, I'll probably start including those. Like it's still I need to hook up the sprite path to depending on the type of hair that you're using. Because right now it's just the color, but it doesn't set up this correct texture for it. But since I don't have any other textures at the moment, I'm just gonna leave it as is, but I will be coming back to it. But other than that, this is looking good. All the parts that we created in an avatar creation at the beginning, when we created this save file, it's in here now. Sweet. And the reason why I wanted to go in this direction, where it converted a dictionary to a JSON, then converting to a class, just like how we did it in here, is because the next thing I want to tackle is the quests. The quest manager, and you're being given quests, right? And I don't want to deal with dictionaries when it comes to that. It'll make it a lot easier if it was a class in here and I'm able to define all these variables this way. Because if I mess up and there's a typo or whatever case, the game will crash. And by doing this, it's less prone to that. If there's something missing in the dictionary, it will be empty or won't have no values, and you'll be able to see it in game and be like, hey, what's going on, why is this not? But at least it will not crash. So we did end up finding that JSON converter serializer thing. I ended up not using that function. I had to actually update that function to work in my game, so I ended up completely deleting everything, just using the ones that I was using. So but it ended up working, we're doing some stuff. We're progressing, guys. We are progressing. All right, so the next thing, what is time? I guess not time. So the next thing is to work on this quest. Let's create that class, sure, shall we? So it's to work on quests. Script. We'll call it a quest manager. I think that's what I want to call it, right? I'm tripping and figure like it's not the actual name for it. Quest. We call it manager. And this is basically going to be the class that's going to manage all the quests that you're going to be given. It's going to be creating it, deleting it if I have to, and giving it to the player, and all of that stuff. All right, so let's I would like to go to my stream real quick and change the title of that. So we're doing some avatar, call it a quest. Quests and finalizing avatar creation. So I'm gonna change the title of the stream for now. And we're going into that right now. Let's go into quests. Where's my quest manager here? There we go. I should probably create a class for it. You know what? Let's do that. Let's create a quest folder. Create a quest folder and we call it, we call it quest. That's what I said. And remove that quest manager into there. There you are. There we go. And we'll call it class. Actually, you know what? I don't want to call it anything. I'll just leave it as a node. And I want to add the script as a global because I want this to be persistent. Asset scripts quest. Call it quest manager. Cool. So now that's in there. So what I want to do is be able to have a function to create a quest. Right now we'll pass it. But not only that, I would like to create a quest class or create a script, and this script is gonna have all the stuff that I want. So we'll name it, it'll most likely be an object or even a resource. Now let's try resource real quick. Let's just keep it as an object for now. We'll name it last name, we'll name it a quest. And what this is gonna have, let's see what it's gonna have for right now. We're gonna have a bar, we're gonna have a UID for this, which is gonna be a string, and this will differentiate it for all the different quests that we can have, because we can have multiple quests that probably is the same thing, and we don't want to mix it up. So the only way to make sure that they're different is by having a UID on it. So we're making sure that there's no duplicates or anything like that of the same thing. But you could have multiple quests that are basically considered the same objective, right? One thing I would like to have in here is, and debating if I want it as a string or not. But we'll leave it as a string, but we may end up changing it to something else. So I want to have an action, and then we want to have a target, and then we want to possibly have a quantity. So quantity can be an int. So what I want to do in here is for actions, this is going to be just labeling it what this quest is going to be, where like, hey, this action is going to be defeat, collect, or harvest. Those are the type of actions that I'm thinking of. Target will be, let's say if the action was defeat, target will be enemies. So defeat enemies, right? Or maybe there's a specific enemy that you want to target. So let's say you want to defeat slimes. So action will be defeat slimes, and then quantity will be the amount that you need to defeat. So defeat 5 slimes or whatever. Or the same thing if the action is harvest. Harvest will be the action. Target will be what you want to harvest. Either that's going to be like wood, anything else that we're going to be harvesting here, and quantity, how much you need to acquire of this certain item. Let's see what else can I think of in here. Oh yeah, harvest, right? That's where I say harvest word, but that's not what I meant. Like crops, harvest crops. So, you know, harvest, and then let's say potatoes or 5 potatoes or whatever. But the other thing that I was thinking of is you're chopping down trees. You get wood, right? So chopping, whatever that is. There's a name for it when it comes to the name for it, chopping down trees and like rocks and all of that. I forgot there's an actual name for it, but that will be the action. The target will be trees and quantity, right? So action shopping, target will be trees and quantity. So, you know, that's what I'm thinking of right now. Just want to give some examples of what I'm thinking of. And with these that I have in here, I can then define in the UI how it's going to be named correctly. So the user, when it sees this quest and it sees the UI for this quest, I can use these variables to determine what to say. So that's what I want to do. And let's go back to quest. Where's my quest manager? So we want to create. So right now, it may end up changing later on. So we can have like action, string, target, string, and quantity will be the int. So you'll be creating this quest, which will be the quest in here. Quest equals quest new. I probably have to save this so he knows about it. Now this knows about it now. And we'll, you know, say quests. We'll pass into action. Quest dot targets equals targets. Quest quantity equals quantity. And the most important part is getting that UID. Forgot the name of this before. There we go. So you created this creates a new UID for this quest. So every quest that we create, it's gonna have its own UID, basically. I believe this is what I want to do. Is there a way to return something here? I kind of thought I mentioned it last time, but I don't know if this is the right way of doing it. Alright, okay. Okay, I think that's it right now. I got this layout correctly. Okay, so now when I like to go to my data tables in here. I'm gonna load something. Where is my stuff at? The resources. I mean, loading my data table. I'm pretty sure I need to manage another one. Well, we'll name it quests. Yeah, that's what I would like to have a quest. And in here, like before, we're gonna have the action. It'll be a string, target, and quantity. And I want to create a collection of these just because I want to be able to define what kind of things I want to create. It'll be an integer. We'll go here, sweeps. So let's go back out. Let's go to manage table. We'll create a collection of quests. You need to name it at the top. Oops, let's delete that because I don't need that. Then come here, make sure we use the right collection. Then we create, you know, all the questing here. So we can say, trying to figure out foraging. That's what I was thinking about, right? Is that the right word I was looking for? Foraging. I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be. Yeah, that can be. It says foraging is the act of searching for and collecting wild foods like plants, fruits, and mushrooms. It includes hunting, fishing, and gathering wild plants for sustenance. Okay. Just trying to define all the actions right now. I think I'll think about more of what that's going to be later on. We can look into that. Let's just start creating all these objects and then we'll work on making it be better. Once I have all the stuff together, I think I can start thinking about what's a good way to define these better. So we're gonna have one that's gonna be. I'm debating if I want quantity in here. Hold on. Chopping trees. So the reason why I want to is because I don't want to create multiple of these chopping trees for each quantity. Like I want 5, maybe I want another one that's gonna be 10, and whatnot. Yeah, and I think I probably just better to randomize it instead. Like I wanted it to be, or you know what, you could create a randomizer in here. Like you have a minimax or quantity. Say, hey, this is about how many trees you should be doing. Actually, I don't mind that. You know, let's change that. Let's change that. So let's go back to manage structure quests. Let's delete this. And instead of being integer, you can make it to an array. And let's call it quantity. And then when I initialize it or passing it into my quest manager, I can do like a random between those two values. So right now that kind of makes sense. Actually, no. Let's make sure quantities, and it's an array. Cool. So now let's go back. Quests. There should be a quantity now. Let's say I want to do between 5 and, for now, let's put 25. So give a random number between those two. The action is going to be shopping for now. And the target will be trees. Right? Shopping can be either be trees, it can be, I don't know if it could be the same thing when it comes to rocks. Most likely the actions could be like mining or something. Somewhere around those lines. Let's create another one. Let's say harvest. Harvest, you could harvest hay or something. Right? The actual actions can be harvest, the target will be hay, and it'll give you, option in here. There's gonna be a lot of them. These are right now. You can put 10, then we go to up to like 30 of them or something. I think it's a pretty. Let's start off with this. Like that should be the right idea. Got Pikachu. If you haven't noticed. Alright, so how would I connect this and determine what I can do? Maybe there's multiple ways to do it. To create this action, you could create another one that's going to be create, which it will be the ID, and the ID will be the one that's can be connected to the database collection. So it'll be either be shopping trees or harvest hay. That's going to be the ID. That's what I'm thinking of right now. And with that, what is it called? Ooh, there's 2 of them too, huh? Why do I have 2 of them? Alright, so we have this database in here. We have var, quest. We can have a dictionary of all of these. We can actually change these to be using the JSON class thing that we did also as well, if we wanted to. So I might end up doing a stream in the future where I'm just, replacing some of this stuff. If anybody's interested in that. Quests. I think it's quests. Quests does not exist. And then we'll get that. Then go in quest database. So, okay. Go down here. I'll set the database to that. Okay, and then we can have a function here that returns all of it, I guess. And get quests. And just passing quests. Database. Now that we have that, I'll just return back to where we were at. And we're gonna have get quests database, just a dictionary. A quictionary. That's not what I meant. I'm thinking quests, but not together. I was just naming quests dictionary, and we can find. Why is this an error? Did I mess up on something? Oh, it's because it's the same create by ID. Hold on. Any here we can find if quest has this ID, which technically should. If it has it, we'll grab that. So we grab that quest ID, quest dictionary, singular, and pass in that ID. So all this stuff is gonna be in here, and we just return great from the top. We'll pass in a dictionary of action. Target. Oh, but the last thing I need to do in here is to let's do a bar quantities of array equals quantities Giro Gaming, welcome to the stream, buddy. Yeah, so right now I'm not looking for anybody, and not because I don't need it, it's just that I won't be able to, I don't have funds to be able to pay anybody, so that's why I'm just doing everything by myself at the moment. But if anything that changes in the future, I'll keep you in mind for sure. I'll keep you in mind. But I appreciate it though. Very much appreciate it. Ooh, you're a Tauros. Is that on screen right now? Does that show? I don't see it. Hold on. Oh yeah, it does show you're a Tauros. Alright, let's go back to... Alright, sounds good, Giro. I'll definitely keep you in mind for sure though, if that ever changes in the future. What was I doing? Quantities. We go to quantities here, and we should have an array of these. And what I would like to do is to be able to get a quantity. That's not what I meant. Bar quantity int, and then we can do a. Can you do a random here? Yeah, we can have a random range of 0 and the length of this or size, and with that I want to pass in this quantity array, and that'll be the quantity that I'll pass in here. There we go. So now we have one that's going to get it from the database. by using an ID. The ID is the key to the database, and we find one. We grab its properties that we can pass in here, and we randomize something. The one thing I would like to know is if it includes the size, or is it exclusive or inclusive at the last one. Okay, so it includes the last one then. So I gotta do a -1 on it. Alright, so I gotta do a -1 here. And that should be good for this, creating these 2 quests that I have in here. So it will return a quest object. Okay, so now that I have this, how can we test this? I think when we're talking to somebody, let's go into the game real quick. This is still on. Let's go. Alright, so let's go. Actually, do we even have I don't know why I zoomed in like that. I might have messed up somewhere. And not able to click anywhere. Probably because I updated code and stuff, so I think that's what happened. I'm restarting it again. Alright, so let's load into the game. My other 2 stuff I can go in there just now. I won't be able to fix it up later. Alright, there we go. So what I want to do in here is to zoom out and figure out where my shop is at. It's all the way to the right on top. Alright, so we'll just go through all of this stuff real quick. And just go through all of this stuff. Ooh, we have this thing here. And just created that side. I like this river thing happening here. That's awesome. So like by that procedure generation. Super cool. We got some fishes in there too. Woo! Alright. Alright, so this, what I want to do is go to the village, which is nearby. And we'll go inside of one of these houses in here. Now we can go back to normal now. It was somewhere around here. Alright. So let's go inside this house real quick. Alright. So going inside. He looks way different inside the house. Alright, so now we go on top of this guy. So we got interactions with NPCs, and as of right now, we need to find a way to be able to have NPCs give quests to you. And not just that, once it gives it to you, make sure that it is saved into your the save data as well. So every time the game gets saved, make sure that you actually acquire this quest, and then also creating a UI for it. So I need to create another option for Jamal here, so that I can so it can show me the different options, just like the store owner does. It gives you all these types of options you can choose, and say, hey, give me a quest or something. Oh, I don't know. Or by triggering. Let's go to Dialogic real quick. Let's see what we do in here. So we have, this is the shopper one, where I say, hey, yo, welcome my friend, and then you're given the choice. There's no name for it. And then give you choices in here that he can do. either, hey, what are you in here for, and give you options in here to see what you have for sale, and then never mind. I probably shouldn't have closed it so I can show you in the actual game what Jenkins is gonna be doing. Let's go back to I want to make my. Oh, let's go in here. Cool. It is all good. We'll go through that instead. Oh, you know what? Let's fix that. Oh, that's fine. Alright, let's go back up there again. We'll go back up there to the store. I can show you what this dialogue. If you never ever used Dialogic, I can show you how that actually kind of looks like. It's actually pretty sweet, but it is in. I don't remember if it's an alpha or in beta still though. I don't remember which one of those things will be. I don't want to go too far. Yeah, it's right on my right side. I guess we can just go on top of this. I went too far. Whew. Alright, so my plan here is to go to the shopper guy, the shopkeeper. I probably can save it in here so I don't have to do all this stuff again. Alright, so we got the blacksmith house on top. We got the elder in here. And the shopkeeper is on top right here. So we'll save it before we even go inside. And let's save that bad boy so we don't have to come back here trying to run up all the way over here. Let's go into the shopkeeper. And we talked. We got, hey, yo, welcome, my friend. If we go to Dialogic, we got that right there, right? So what are you here for? And it gives you these two options that you have. Let's see what you have for sale, and then you say, hey, never mind. So that's basically the two options that I have in here, right? So you say, what are you in here for? And then the two options. And which is, hey, let's see what we have for sale, or never mind, which will basically just close the dialogue, right? But if you were to say, hey, let's see what you have for sale, or it's just, then he says, let's have a look. And then we made you can emit a signal if you wanted to. I gotta figure out what I was doing in here to make this work. I think I was using the database for this. Okay. So what I will do is maybe let's create another option in here. Let's see. Let's create a another choice down here. Would that work if I put it in here? Let's see, any rumors? Or, you know what, let's just call it Give Me Quest, please. Quest, please. We'll figure out something later on. Then we'll have we'll have and talk. Which is just Jenkins dev. Here's your quest, yo. and then we'll try maybe emitting a signal or something. You gotta figure out what to do. I gotta figure out what I'm doing when it comes to this option here. There's no option here. I thought I was emitting like a signal or something. I gotta figure out what I'm doing there to make it work. Alright, let's try it in game and see how that looks. Alright, let's go in here. Let's go. Oh, nope, that's gonna crash on me right now. I gotta fix that. Those other save files are not working since I added that avatar stuff. Load game, this one. Alright, so let's go into the shopkeeper. But yo, welcome my friend, what are you in here for? Now we have, hey, let's see what we have for sale, never mind, and we have quest, please. Alright, here's your quest, yo. So in this option here, I would like it to do so that when I click that, I kind of emit a signal or something similar to what I do with this. And it brings up the shopkeeper UI where you're able to buy and sell stuff. And do the same thing I'm doing with quests that will trigger and give me a quest. Questions, I gotta figure out how I did that because I don't see it anywhere in Dialogic that says that I emit this function. So how is this showing up right now since there's nothing in here that emits? I wish in GD script I can say find all references, because that would be awesome. You know, it might be an agent. Let's go into agent class, or the script I should say. I'm trying to remember where that code is at. It's been a while since I looked at it. Change state, sprints. Enable interact, no, resize, on dialogue, interact. Okay, that's something close. Oh no, this just brings the actual, so when you get closer to an NPC, this brings up the dialogue to interact. So when you get closer to your character, it will be like interact, press E. This is what this is. But it doesn't give me the options that says, hey, go to the store, and the UI pops up. There's no way of saying, hey, find all references, is there? It's probably one thing Godot is missing, unless I don't know where it's at. Is be able to look into other scripts and see if there's any functions being called by using the name of this. It's been so long since I touched that. Agents. Unless I'm doing it in C++. There's no way I'm doing it in C++, am I? Now let's open my Visual Studio stuff. Alright, let's go in here. Am I doing it in C++? See. Got AI, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's log into nodes. Sure. I'm looking for agents, NPCs, agents. Okay, so this is what calls on dialogue interact, which it calls the one function that we just went to right now. How am I displaying this UI? cool minutes since I touched it. One thing I can go. Let's go to UI real quick. No. It should be a trader shop, a trader slot. So let's go in here and figure out what shows. So we pass this in the seller dictionary. So let's go into that. Find all references. Okay, so we have this. The UI manager handles the UI trader because, you know, he's the UI manager. So let's find all references there. And we have this, which is a method that shows the UI trader. That's all it's doing. And I might be calling that. Let's look at the agent scene. Maybe there's something in there. Let's go to the agent scene, NPCs. Go to this is a script. Go to the scenes, NPCs. Let's go to NPC. Is there anything specific in here that's happening that I can use? Oh, this one has a dialogue interaction script. Where can I go to it? Alright, here we go. Oh, we got something here. We got something. Alright, so dialogue interaction, which it interacts. And once you interact with it, which is, this brings up the dialogue, the initial dialogue, and looks for a signal. Right now I don't use that argument, which is why it's empty. And I'm using, okay, that actually works. Because I'm listening to this dialogue when I connect to it here, and once he ends, yeah, I remove it. So I'm able to use this here. So in here, we like to do then, if argument's empty, or maybe I say give me a quest, or add quest. Just add quest will be the actual argument. And then for now we'll do a pass. Otherwise, we're opening dialogue because this is the first time. A Control Shift and Godot. Ooh. Control Shift F. Got it. Got it. Thank you so much. I will give that a try. Let's see. Control. Probably gotta find some other thing. Control Shift F. Oh, there we go. Nice. Alright. Well, thank you so much for that. I definitely like to write that down somewhere. Hold on, let me write that down somewhere. I'll put in my notepad for now. Let me put in my notepad real quick. Control Shift F. That'll be a good place to put it for now so I don't forget. You know, I'll just do it here. I see some hidden stuff in here. So I'll do shortcuts. I'll put that in my computer later on. Control Shift F is search in files. Alright, thank you so much for that. That'd be definitely helpful. I wish I can do it in right click and be able to do that in here. That'll be easier too. Alright, but anyway, so we have something here that will be add a quest. The one thing that I'm thinking about right now is how do I tell what kind of quest should be added? And I need a reference to either the game manager or something, whoever's going to keep track of all these quests. Or should a quest manager keeping track of these? What I wanted the quest manager to be is more like a factory. Should probably call it factory instead of quest manager, or it's just going to be handling, creating all of this stuff for you. If you want to be more precise, but I think as of right now, because of time, let's just make this work real quick. We can add it to the quest manager for now, and then for the next stream I can probably hopefully have something better, and we can rearrange this to be a little bit better. And I got something better when it comes to this. So for now, we can just create like a func add quest, whatever it's gonna be, and we just print an error, just making sure that it actually calls it adding quests. Oops, I put the caps lock on this for a reason. So let's make sure that this actually works. So I'll have, it should work. I don't see it, why not, since I'm calling the quest manager here automatically, right? Quest manager right off the bat. But for now, I mean, this is just a dialogue interaction. I could probably have like a listener or something if I don't want to have a dependency on quest manager for this. But that's something to think about later on. Make it work first. And making sure that is correct. So we can try that. Let's go to Dialogic real quick, and we'll pass in the emit function or flow. Where is this emit or whatever it's called? The logic. There we go. We'll pass in emit, and we can pass in add. Was it add quest, or is it a dash, or underscore? Let's see if this ends up working. So I should see it in my logs and see that it actually prints it out. Load. Go here. We'll talk to the shopkeeper. Alright, so let's talk to this guy. So, yo, welcome my friend. What do you have in store? Quest, please. Here's your quest. There we go. Working. So, what I would like to do for next time is to be able to implement this better. And each of the NPCs will be given certain quests that can be given to you. So not everybody's going to give you the same quest, right? Some NPCs will give you certain types of quests. Either it's going to be for like the main story, or it's just whatever side stuff it's going to be. So I would definitely like to have this working where an NPC gives you a quest, storing that correctly, and then be able to do those quests and keeping track of how many you have done so far. So let's say you have to shop 5 trees, and it keeps track for every tree that you shopped. So let's say you chop down 2 trees, and then you save the game and come back later on. You still, you already have chopped 2 trees. You don't have to restart it all over. So stuff like that I need to keep track of. And I can, be started in the next stream, guys. I'm gonna be calling it for now. But anyways, thank you guys for joining the stream, and hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I'll continue this in most likely Saturday, or I just sometimes just pop in randomly out of nowhere, like today. I wasn't supposed to stream today, but you know, I was working on the game. I decided to just do a stream on it. So yeah, it may be randomly, but for sure we're definitely aiming for Saturday. Is the days that I'll probably be streaming, and there may be some random ones too. But thank you guys for joining on the stream, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day or a wonderful night depending on your time, and I'll see you guys later. Signing out, guys.